Calling to order the Governance and Priorities Committee meeting of Monday, June 1st, 2026 at 5 p.m. First on the list, adoption of the agenda. Do we have someone that can adopt the agenda after the additions and deletions portion? If you want anything deleted, now's the time. Added. Okay, Councillor Erickson.
I move that council adopt the June 1st, 2026 Governance and Priorities Committee meeting agenda as presented.
All those in favor of the motion? And that is carried. Adoption of the minutes for the Governance and Priorities meeting of May 4th. Has anyone found any corrections, or is anybody ready to make a motion to adopt the minutes? Councillor Forsyth.
Move that council adopt the minutes of the May 4th, 2026 Governance and Priorities Committee meeting as presented.
All those in favor of the motion? And that is carried. Delegations. We have the RCMP community report with Staff Sergeant Lacey Blair, and here she comes. What an entrance. Thank you, Lacey.
Yeah, my apologies.
I'll give you a few minutes to settle here, no worries.
Okay, okay. Okay. Perfect, thank you. Thank you, Mayor and Council, for having me here tonight. Just to go over our Q4 policing report, which goes from January 1st to March 31st of 2026. Sorry. So in that time frame, calls for service for the municipal side were actually down. We came down at about 200 calls for service than we were at the same point here last year, which is good. Many contributing factors to that. We all know this winter we had a large number of snow, which plays a factor in the calls for service that we receive at certain times of the year. In the end, it kind of levels out throughout the year. Springtime, calls start to go up, things start to change. So the biggest changes that we saw were our assaults were significantly down, along with our break and enters, which relate to theft of motor vehicles and mischief files. So that we contribute to individuals just not being out and about with regards to snow, cold. I don't want to be out there. They also don't want to be out there. So we do always see a dip that's standard across the board for year to year. That's not new from this year to last year, but those are some of the things that we see. A lot of the other changes that we had, we did have not a huge increase, but an increase in our drug enforcement, which is good. We are getting drugs off the street as best as we can. Certain legislation kind of prohibits that, but we are doing what we can, and along with the Mental Health Act. So generally in the winter times of the months, so with February, March, we always kind of see a big increase in our mental health calls. That relates to Christmas bills coming in that time of the year where it's dark, it's cold, and people don't want to be outside or go anywhere. So we always do see an increase in those. Again, that's not different. It's been pretty much standard throughout my career of seeing that. But we always do see the big increase in the February months. That also relates to Form 10s that we take individuals to the hospital. One thing that our members, or big thing our members were out doing, being proactive with business checks, curfew checks on our prolific offenders in the area. We are always out checking on them if they have a 24-hour curfew or under house arrest, essentially. We are out there knocking on their door at 10 p.m., 2 o'clock in the morning, 4 a.m., whatever hours that we can get out there to ensure that they are abiding by their curfew and their conditions from court. Other things that we focused on was traffic. Traffic enforcement. I know people don't like getting a speeding ticket, but speeding tickets lead to other tickets or other files that we can get out of vehicles, stolen property, individuals on warrants, things like that. So members were heavily out in the winter months and into the spring here with regards to speeding. I know tint, any type of traffic violation, it is a violation under the TSA. Members can be out writing those tickets. Couple of things that we did see, small increase are still the abandoned 911 calls. We get them from some of the hotels and the hospital. Individuals, if you have a business where you have to dial 9 to get out, people generally forget that they have dialed 9 and then dial 911. It automatically goes to the dispatch center. So we do still get a number of those that happen, and they do take time and resources, dispatch us, EMS or fire, who needs to respond. So that is still kind of a concern with some of the businesses that we have in town, just for information's sake. Suspicious vehicles significantly lower. This quarter, again, it kind of contributed to the weather that we had, but we still encourage people, if you see something suspicious, please report it to us. You guys know your neighbors, especially out in the rural or different parts of town. You know your neighbors, you know who generally is on this road and that road. If you see something suspicious, don't ever hesitate to call it in to us. We will always respond, and it helps us build files. You may not think it's weird, but if people continually call it in, we're able to build a case off that as to what's going on or what this individual is doing in the area. We were heavily involved in the community this quarter. School events. We had the NAV pop-up center there in January, which was great. We participated in the Alberta Senior Boys and Girls Provincial Basketball Championships that were held here in town. So we had members attending those and just being involved with a lot of the kids. We've had a great relationship with our CPOs. I think Danny and I talk at least once a week, whether I'm willing to or not. We have a great working relationship. He's at our office. We chat with them. It's just getting members familiar with what CPOs can and can't do. We do have a lot of new members in our detachment, so we're just kind of getting over those hurdles internally. But again, great working relationship. Other things just been honestly just out in the community showing a face. We're people outside of this uniform as well. So it's just being invested in our community. With regards to our staffing numbers, we had one member, again, I'll speak municipally here, one member that departed in May. They transferred to another detachment. Their replacement arrived at the end of April. So basically flush there. However, the individual that arrived was from Depot. So there is the 6-month training with that member. They did come with prior police experience. So that's kind of a good thing. It's a little bit easier to train somebody that comes from a different policing world to our detachment. And we do have one other individual, for those that don't know, Constable Sunday is transferring out of our detachment come August. So I know. He will be leaving us. He's going to a different detachment come August. So we will be looking at filling that vacancy. I know the last time I was here, and it was granted, speaking with the town with regards to the staffing positions with the 11 FTE. So we are running at the 11, hard at the 11 right now. Keeping the 12 vacant, just FYI. I want to fill it as best as I can for sure, but I'm filling the provincial vacancies that I have first, and the CTA and then the town. It's not for a lack of trying. It's just we have a lot of really new members in our detachment. We've received 11 new members in the last year. It's a lot for a detachment. It's a bit of a training detachment. It's just the hurdles that we go through. So trying to get some of them a little bit more experience before we take on more recruits from Depot. So there are 2 positions that I'm currently holding right now, just to get our guys boots on the ground ready. We're still 24-hour policing. We still have our minimums that we're working with as 4 at all times, along with me and the sergeant and other supervisors. So we're still able to offer that. We just kind of stopped the 2 positions to be filled in order for people to gain more experience. So we're not burdening the 2 senior members that we have on training, keep continually training, because it is a lot of work to take on that task continually. And I will answer any questions anybody has related to that.
Where is, you're going in, where is that detachment? Is that in town here or where is that?
When you call the complaint line,
That's right.
so the complaint line, it goes to our dispatching, which is Edmonton.
Edmonton.
Yeah, all of our dispatching and any 911 or complaints, 911 goes to the 911 center, but any of our dispatching, all calls are routed through Edmonton.
I called somebody yesterday and he obviously didn't know Peace River at all.
Yeah, it goes through our dispatch in Edmonton and they deal with every detachment that they have.
And he appeared a little bit abrupt as well too.
Oh, did he?
House Support, did you have a question?
Yeah, it's not in the report, but I know we've been running the program since May 1st, and I know you spoke about our members and our CPOs getting out in the public and being seen more. Now we started that positive ticketing program. Do you have any feedback on that program, or do we have any comments coming from public on that program as of yet?
I've heard a lot of positive comments on it. I haven't run the full, like, looked at all the data for it. That'll be coming out in the next quarter, but I've heard a lot of positive comments from just people that I see out in the public with regards to it, and that it's going really, really well. That's all that I really have on that.
Any idea of, or even a guesstimate of how many of those positive tickets have been handed out?
I couldn't even,
Okay.
I couldn't even guess, sorry.
Anyone else have questions? I have a couple. I just wanted to comment, I was looking, at your charts here, the statistics. Your actual and the comparisons to other years, and it's really evident here that 2026, the numbers either stayed the same or went down significantly.
Very much so.
So do you have, what would you, say would have brought around that change? Because it's quite a difference.
It is a big difference. So I can speak, from January 1st to March 31st of this year, we took 773 calls in the town of Peace River only. No, sorry, yeah, in the town of Peace River this year, and last year we took 1,119. So it's a pretty big decrease from last year. I would say that's in partnership with the CPOs, having them take on some of the, I don't want to demean it, but some of the menial calls within town. And also the weather, I know it sounds a little ridiculous, but the weather actually does play a big factor in it as well, keeping individuals inside as opposed to outside committing crimes.
Okay. Okay, so I guess we'll just see how the weather goes next year and see where those numbers, if they go up or stay the
Yes.
same. That's kind of interesting, but I wouldn't have thought weather would have that
You
big of
wouldn't think, but sitting on this side of it, you kind of see it throughout the year. It ramps up always in the springtime because it's nice and everybody wants to be out. Summer, it always kind of peters out, and then fall, you see a big ramp up again because everybody's preparing for winter. Winter, we see a big increase in like collisions, which is pretty standard, but a decrease in other files just based on the weather of the time of year. Mostly when it's -40. To be honest, a lot of criminals aren't out and about doing things. It's pretty chilly for them out there as well.
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you. Are there any other questions? Oh, go ahead, sorry.
Hey, so regarding the break and enters, you had responded to 42 break and enter files this quarter. And we only resulted in 2 files with charges laid. How come that number is so low?
The number's so low to a number of factors. We had 5 of those break and enter calls were to the Bell Center alone. So specifically one business that's an abandoned building, every time we get called there, it counts as a break and enter. That's the way they do the stats. I have no control over that, so that results in 1. Break and enters are notoriously difficult for us to solve based on a number of factors. Generally, they're called in 2, 3, 4 days later, or sometimes a week plus, just people are gone, they're on holidays. They don't have any cameras, there's no evidence left behind. So they can be notoriously difficult, and we do run into roadblocks with individuals that call them in and don't want to proceed through court. So we'll take statements, we'll take photos. Our forensic unit will come out for a number of them, and the individual's like, no, I don't want to go through the court process. We can't force people to lay charges or to go to court, so at that point, the file is closed.
Thank you.
Okay, well, if there's no other questions, thank you very much for your presentation,
Thank you.
and we will see you next time.
I will be here. Have a good night, everyone.
Good night. Okay, moving on. Number 5, comments from the public, and our gallery is empty. There will be no comments from the public. Number 6, review of bylaws or policies. There are none. 7, unfinished business. There is none. We'll move to 8, current business, the quarterly reports discussion with interim CAO Parsons.
Thank you, Mayor Shannon. So this item is just coming back to council from the May 4th GMP, where we brought forward the quarterly reports and just asking if there was anything specific that council wanted to see in them, or what was working and what isn't, and just any feedback that could be given so we can make them the most beneficial to council and getting you the information that you need, and being able and retaining it, kind of like, what is that information, how can we best get that to you? So just looking for that feedback. And so we had set it aside, for a month, just to have, some time to ruminate on it. I've done a little bit, and we've done a little bit ourselves, and I think something that will, potentially naturally happen, and we can work towards, moving forward that way, is having the quarterly reports reflect more on the strategic plan. And so like our reports can kind of come back, and it'll be more related to how it's meeting council's strategic plan and how it's kind of meeting that operational plan. And so as we kind of build out those strengths in our organization and start really taking that time to do the planning and to really start strategically thinking about how we're moving forward and how we're moving initiatives forward, we can start linking that back to the quarterly reports, so that it's showing you how we're accomplishing these things. And also a little bit of linking back to some of the reports and studies that we do. Because, we get some feedback that, we do study after study, but what is actually happening with them? Or is it just getting put on the shelf? And a lot of them, we are actually doing things and initiatives from those reports, but we're not doing a very good job always of saying, we're doing this thing because this report said this was the next step and this was a good way to move forward, and paid all that money to have that report done to show us the next step. So kind of linking things back more, I think, will be a really good way to help to start structuring those quarterly reports as we start moving in that direction of the organization and getting that planning. But I'm really excited to hear if there was any other thoughts or feedback.
Okay, does anybody have any feedback? So the only thing I do like, and you do provide it, is, I like stats. I like discussions or explanations on trends, like, for Director Kress's report here, why is traffic so high? Like, I like the explanation of the stats, but I really like statistics, and if there's ever information or if they can read into their stats and see emerging trends or anything out there, like, I like that kind of information to be included in the report, what they see as coming, like, what's the next couple of months gonna look like, where's the trending going, what's on our radar. Here's what's happening now, here's what's gonna happen in the next 3 months, and this is what you need to have on your radar. That kind of thing is, because I like these reports with the stats, but I want the explanation behind the stats, like go a step further and find out, is there a trend toward speeding? Is that why we have so many traffic violations? Or, or is there school zone problems? Is it because the schools, and maybe we need to get out communication around that? That's just the kind of thing that I'm looking for. So, so I think it's great, just that last step of kind of summarizing where it's at and giving us that inside information of trending, what's trending and things like that. Does everybody agree with that, or what do you guys think of that?
I think that's a good idea.
Great idea.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, that was my feedback, but I think as we go along and make little changes, and I think it'll eventually evolve into what we want, like with your changes and our changes. I think it will. It's a good start anyway, but I really appreciate the reports. It's well done all the time, so thank you. Anybody else have any questions? If not, go ahead. Oh. Who had their hand up? Oh, nobody? Okay, go ahead.
And thank you, Mayor Shannon. So I was just so I would see that coming, so these are, in this current agenda is the monthly call volume report. So I wouldn't necessarily see maybe the statistics and explanations coming there, because trying to do that on a monthly basis might be difficult. But to add that into the quarterly reports, to do that more fulsome analysis and spread out that time a little bit, I think that's a really great suggestion, Mayor Shannon.
Okay, great. So what might a motion look like?
Also a great question. I think at this point we could just accept it for information, accept the feedback, from administration and council for information, and we'll move forward on that basis.
Okay, that's what we're looking for in a motion. Can someone put a motion on the floor? Okay, Rob, Councillor Erickson.
I move that, the council accept the request for direction for information only.
Thank you. All those in favor of the motion? And that is carried. Moving on to number 9, the reports. So we have series of reports here from Protective Services. We have the Peace River Municipal Library minutes, North Peace Housing Foundation meeting synopsis, and the Peace Regional RCMP Community Advisory Committee. So all the councillors that are responsible for those just happen not to be here tonight, the library board and the Housing Foundation. Or do you have anything to add on the community advisory report, or are you?
Yeah, actually, it's not, shouldn't say it's not part of the report, but, our Alberta Community Crime Prevention Association at the beginning of that dinner meeting, presented, Karina Williams a 7-year long-term service award with her work, with ACCPA. That it was myself and, Councillor Kelly Little from Northern Sunrise County, who's a director on that board, and Staff Sergeant Lacey Blair presented that award to Karina, as she could not be at the conference, and she is formally stepping down due to her new work commitment. So we did the award, try to make it special for her and did the presentation here publicly. On a side note, the RCMP Advisory Committee, as I mentioned earlier, have started a positive ticketing program. We have $1,200 in positive tickets raised from businesses this year. 3 of our businesses have been actively involved in that positive ticketing program for many years, which is Canadian Tire, Mr. Mike's, and Dairy Queen. And there will be a story coming out from our media personnel with the town. Each of those businesses were presented a plaque and a letter of thank you for their continued support with this program. So as I mentioned before, you could be a child 4 years old wearing a helmet, pedaling your bike with your parents down the sidewalk, or you could be stopped because you signaled in your vehicle and receive one of those. You can receive a positive ticket, whether you're a youth or an adult or a senior. So it's a good program. It'll be running throughout the rest of the summer.
Thank you. That's really good information. And that is an excellent program. And there are no other questions. Do we have anyone willing to put a motion on the floor to accept the reports? Oh, sorry, go back up. We have one more question.
Yeah, I do have a question in regards to the CPO monthly call report. There's a point in there, it says save a youth with teachers from going in the river. Can you elaborate on that at all, or was that during the flood or?
No, so what happened was
The ice.
RCMP were called to assist Glen Mary School with a youth that was a special youth that needed EAs with them. And he got away from them and he ran for the river. So RCMP were tied up on a high risk takedown in Grimshaw. So I responded, and come to find out when I got there, I went down, he was over the embankment and they had him held there. But as soon as I started talking to him, he remembered me from last year when we had the flood going on. He was in 12-foot Davis Park. And he remembered talking to me and he says, "You're my best friend, so I'll follow you." So he got up and he followed me back to my cruiser, and so we got him away from the river. So
Good job.
yeah, so we go to the Glen Mary School. We're gonna go see him more often there, so he knows who we are. So that was that one.
Good job. Just shows you the CPO program really works.
Okay, thank you. I think, oh, go ahead.
I just wanted to let you know too, with the statistics here, I didn't put them in, but I know why they're up, is because we have right now a lot of construction zones. And a lot of people traveling now that it's better weather. There's a lot more traffic in town. So we're actually watching the construction zones, helping the workers out up there as well, up on Weberville Road and all the spots, that intersection, so we're really watching them sections for help the construction workers so they don't get hit.
Oh, okay, well, hey, thank you.
And one other note to your worship and council is hopefully by this Friday, I was telling Councilor Ford, we will have our dispatch up and running this Friday. We were just working out the critiques of what they were gonna dispatch us with and what they were gonna put over to the RCMP. So that's what we were finishing up with, the final details. And then hopefully by Friday, we will be having the dispatch number put out on our website so that people can use the website now or use that dispatch number.
Oh, excellent. That'll be exciting to see how that works.
Yes.
That's good. Okay, so Councillor Forsyth, I believe you have a motion.
I move the council accept reports 9.1 to 9.4 for information.
And all those in favor of that motion? And that is carried. Number 10, we have for information, the council communication package. Are there any questions or comments coming from that? If there are none, can we have a motion to accept that? Councillor Deuce.
I would move that council accept item 10.1 for information.
Thank you. All those in favor of that motion? And that is carried. And that brings us to closed session. We will not be returning to live stream after the closed session. So thank you and see you all next week. We will be looking for someone to move us into closed now. And Councillor Ford has moved us into closed. Thank you very much. All those in favor of moving into closed?